Krishna seva pavo. Your setup.
Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone to today's program. Today we have a special blessing of having His Holiness Kirtan Swami Maharaj. So, brief introduction to Maharaj. Maharaj was born in 1941. 85 years old, Maharaj. Maharaj, 84. So Maharaj is a sannyasi since 54 years. He took sannyas in 1971 from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. With just one instruction from His Divine Grace Prabhupada, based on the letter in 1970. Los Angeles, USA, Maharaj has willingly accepted the renounced order of life and dedicated his whole life for serving Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj, 1940 ಅವರು ಜನ್ಮವಾಯಿತು. 1971 ಅವರು ಸನ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ and His Holiness Tirukram Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj both served in Mayapur as co-directors in 1974. In the beginning years. During Srila Prabhupada's presence on this planet, Maharaj was regularly assigned by His Divine Grace to spread Krishna consciousness in various countries worldwide. Srila Prabhupada Maharajರಿಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾ, ಲಂಡನ್, ಜಪಾನ್, ತೈವಾನ್, the Philippines and India. Maharaj is served as a temple president at various centers and also is a pioneer in opening and expanding many preaching centers, learning and preaching about Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada personally said that he will always go wherever I send him. So Maharaj has traveled to different places. In a letter to Mukunda, Los Angeles, 1969 letter, Prabhupada writes, so far as Tirukram is concerned, he is a super first-class brahmachari. His service attitude, his submission is very nice, although he is still a new member. So Prabhupada appreciated in 1969. And Prabhupada also writes that I am very much glad to hear that you have decided to return to Japan and help Tirukram Maharaj. I have heard from Tirukram that they are distributing large amounts of BTGs in Tokyo, 500 to 1000 BTGs every day. So there's a long introduction of Maharaj. Now, Maharaj also is serving as a guru within Iskcon since 1987. So Maharaj is also very actively preaching in countries like Poland, Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, Latvia, and Czech Republic. Maharaj has been accepting disciples on behalf of Srila Prabhupada in Iskcon since 1987 and is well known for his extended kirtan, bhajans and profound lectures with practical applications as per the teachings and instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj also traveling recently to Germany, Spain, Slovakia, Bulgaria, etc. So let's welcome His Holiness Tirukram Swami Maharaj to our Iskcon Culture Center by once chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much. Let's sing Bhajale Mana. And we'll speak something about it. Bhajale Mana, Dinananda,
Sita Bhagavarishana Edina Jamini Jagire Sita Bhagavarishana Edina Jamini Vipale Sevino Kripana Durajana Vipale Sevino Kripana Durajana Kapala Supala Balaji Kapala Supala Balaji Jetana Yovana Putra Parijana Idegi Ade Parati Jetana Yovana Putra Parijana Idegi Ade Parati Kamala Jala Jala Divana Kalamala Kamala Jala Jala Divana Kalamala Hari Padani Aja Hari Padani
O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the Son of Nanda, which make one fearless.
Fearless.
O Lord
How do we become fearless? Who is the son of Nanda?
Krishna. Having obtained this rare human birth, cross over this ocean of world existence through the ocean association of saintly persons. Both in the day and at night, I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of fleeting happiness, I have uselessly served wicked and miserable man. What assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, willfulness, sons and family members? This life is tottering like a drop of water from a lotus petal. Therefore, you should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari. It is a desire and great longing of Govinda Das to engage himself in the nine processes of bhakti, namely, hearing the glories of Lord Hari and chanting those glories, constantly remembering him and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, serving the soothing Lord as a servant, worshipping him with flowers and incense and so forth. Serving him as a friend and completely offering the Lord once to the service.
So the one thing you want to happen to you is that life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. But we think, no. That's the most wonderful thing. You understand? It was inquiring, right? We had to satisfy to get the The question was, what is the most wonderful thing in this world? And I like that word. The most wonderful thing is that everybody's going to die, but we think we win. That's the most wonderful thing. Everybody's going to die, right?
Yes.
But we don't think we're going to die. Somehow, we just can't really get our hands around the concept. But that's required. Not only are we going to die, but before we die, we'll probably suffer. Disease of some kind, or car accident, something, right? But Krishna said, Dukkhalaya Ashashvata. The material world, the whole material world, is temporary. Where's my grandfather? Where's his grandfather? Temporary and full of trouble. What kind of trouble? 3 kinds of trouble. Adidaiva, Adibhautik, Adiyatmik. From other living entities, from your own mind and body, headache, toothache, and from other living entities, mosquitoes, and from the nature, too cold, too hot, tsunami, earthquake, something. So, we're in a very precarious position. It can be finished in a moment. But therefore, there's some urgency for us to take the spiritual route. If we can become spiritually advanced, then we can transfer ourselves to the spiritual world. We don't have to remain in this material world. We don't even transfer ourselves. Krishna picks us up. If we become real devotees, Krishna will take us. He'll want us to be with him. Because we're an asset. Because we're serving him. That question is, well, why do we have to serve Krishna? I want to be served. Yes, so that's the mentality that brought us to the material world. In the spiritual world, everybody agrees to put God in the center. Ishvara. But here, everybody wants to be in the center. You see it in the children, right? Mothers. Mother is the first guru. The children are nonsense. They think of themselves first. On the plane, they don't care if they disturb 100 people. Yeah! But this is it. It's not, we're all born like that. It's called false ego. False ego, we're all born with it. False ego means we think we're the center, but we're not the center. We're very tiny particle. How many galaxies are there, even by material estimation? What is this Earth planet? It's so small. And then we're on one country in that Earth planet, India. And in India, a big country, there's one city. This is the city Bangalore. And in Bangalore, there's so many houses and so many people, but we're in this one house. But still we think we're so important. But we're tiny. But if we surrender, we will be important. Like the example is given, a beautiful diamond ring surrounded by small rubies. So the rubies enhance the beauty of the diamond ring. So we can do that. We can enhance Krishna's beauty by broadcasting his message. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, no one is more dear to me than one who explains the subject of Bhagavad Gita to innocent people. So we can do that. We have to desire. First desire, and then act on the desire. And that, of course, depends on Krishna. Just like we gave the example. So the Prabhupada had a desire. He wanted to preach. He was making money. He was a businessman. He thought, I'm going to make a lot of money. And with that money, I'm going to preach like anything. But then he said, because Krishna had a different idea. He took everything away from him, and sent him to America with 40 rupees, which at that time was like 8,000. It was more than this now. 40 rupees is nothing. So anyway, the point is, because Krishna was behind him, he wrote a wonderful poem when he got to America. He was asking Krishna to be the puppet master. And that he would be a puppet. And he was praying to Krishna, please, make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. But that was his mood. And because of that mood, Krishna was happy to make him dance. So wonderfully, all over the world. What no one else has done. Once Prabhupada was asked, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, but he didn't go outside of India to preach. How is it that you can spread it all over the world? And Prabhupada said, Krishna wanted to give me the credit. They're friends. Somebody was asking the other day, well, you know, sometimes it's hard being at the devotee, I get discouraged, and you know, in the beginning especially, you have to have a little austerity, tapasya. What is that? Rise early in the morning. Don't sleep until 10 o'clock, even you have a day off. No. Morning is the best time for spiritual life. Get up early in the morning. Then, second, notice the sex. That's hard. No intoxication. We don't say no sex. Get yourself married, raise children. Then by the end of life you realize what sex life is. Otherwise you have the illusion that this is it, going to go on and on. But it does. It turns into sour. If you're just a woman hunter, you won't be happy. What to speak to the prostitutes, they're not happy. So we have to regulate sex life. As Krishna says, how to do it. Yes. Have sex life at the beginning with children. I see you have children here. I hear them. Anyway, let's read this one verse I found quite instructive from the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 5. 15th chapter is Yoga of the Supreme Person. It's a nice chapter, lies itself here. You can go through it at leisure. I'll show you the Sanskrit. Yumanamavajita Sangadosha Yatma Nitya Vidivita Kama Vanvai Vimukta Sukatuta Sangya Kashtanti Amura Paramavya. Translation. Those who are free from false prestige. False prestige. Overpowering. We get carried away by it. Everybody has such a high opinion of themselves. Illusion and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are free from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to the eternal kingdom. So these are the qualifications we have to go back on back to God. Free from false prestige and illusion. False association. That means we take this as all in all. We think that this family that we have now, this is our family. But we've had so many families. So we shouldn't take it, we should do our duty to our family. That's welcome. But don't think that, you know, your family's going to save you. There's a story like that. McGrary the hunter. Narada Muni saw that he was killing animals and even torturing them. So he told him that for this killing of animals, you're going to get bad karma. And he said, but I'm doing it for my family. So Narada said, okay, go back to your family and tell them if they're willing to share the karma with you. But he did that. He said, no. Do the thing. You're working so hard for the family, but the family is made up of jivas who have come away from God. Doesn't mean we shouldn't have respect and cordial relation, but there's no real love in material. Because love means you love the beloved more than yourself. Do any of you do that in your marriages? I never been married, so you really come to the point that you love your wife more than yourself. Does it happen? But then you become henpecked. And she's going to say, do this, pick this up, do that. So no, we should respect each other. We have different roles. Wife is the center of the home and takes care of the children and so on. And husband should provide, should protect her. We're in favor of the Vedic culture. Women should be protected by the father, husband, and grown-up son. That was the system in the time of our Gita. Because Krishna gave Arjuna one argument. If we have this battle, if so many men will be killed, who will take care of the women? That was one argument he gave, not to fight. But Krishna said no, they'll be protected. So anyway, let's read the purport. Purport, the surrendering process is described here very nicely. The first qualification is that one should not be deluded by pride. Because the conditioned soul is puffed up, thinking himself the Lord of material nature. It is very difficult for him to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See that? The Maya is, I think I have power over this matter. But where do you get that power? In Krishna. And what can you do with that? I mean, how much can you control material nature? And ultimately, the material nature defeats you. You know, old age, disease, death, you have to see that. So we thinking Bangalore is a famous place for creating new things. Telephones and stuff, right? But it doesn't save you from the real problem. You're still going to get old. You're going to have trouble from other living entities. It's going to be too cold or too hot. So where we want to come to the real problems, birth, death, old age, and disease. These are the real problems. Krishna said in the Gita. So you see, we don't make up anything. My idea, your idea. We take Krishna as authority. Anybody object to that? No, because some people do it. Why should we accept Krishna as authority? He wasn't so great, he was dancing with other people's wives. So how do we answer? Well, the answer is that he can dance with all of us because he's Parapurush and everyone else is Prakriti. Prakriti means one who is enjoyed. So now we're imitating Krishna, trying to be the enjoyer in this world. But we can't. It's like chewing to chew. The life says, what does it say? He knows the Sanskrit. We're chewing and chewing and it won't make us happy. Or another example, the hand. If it's cut off from the body, what is its value? It can't taste it. Therefore it has to cooperate. If it cooperates with the body, then it can get nourishment it needs. But if it says, no, I'm going on strike, I'm not going to cooperate anymore, then it'll wither away, it won't have any food. It can't digest the food. It can bring the food in the mouth, but it can't taste the food either. Another element of the tongue. So we're like that. We're not really equipped to be the enjoyer, but we think we are. We do false prestige. Therefore they're singing. They're Rolling Stones, right? You know that song? By Nick Jagger was singing. He said it was the most popular song wherever he went. What is it? I can't get no satisfaction, but I try, and I try, and I try. Isn't this material life? At the end of the day, what do you have? Old age is coming, and then, well, not only old age, but you've got arthritis, you can't walk properly. kidneys are failing, there's so many things, right? Diabetes. If we're looking at this, coming to us today or tomorrow, we're going to be invalids. So therefore now, when you have a little strength, you should become serious about Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna promises, Kuteya Pratijavani, Name Bhakti Pradasi. My devotee will never be vanquished. Just like Draupadi, they attempted to make her naked in the assembly. But Krishna protected her, personally came and gave her unlimited sorry. Yusasana was embarrassed. He couldn't subdue this big, strong man. No, if Krishna protects you, nobody can kill you. And if Krishna doesn't protect you, you could die at any moment. And even if you died after the point, you were going to die. Prabhupada also died. He left his body. But he didn't die. This is the first teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells us, you and I, all these kings, we've always existed in the past as individuals. Now we're individuals. I'm not you, you're not me. Isn't it? And in the future we'll also be individuals. This is the law of karma. But the Mayavadis, they say, no, everything is one. And at the end, you're like a bubble that breaks and goes in the ocean. And you lose your identity. That's like spiritual suicide. Therefore we don't adhere to that philosophy that everything is one. If everything is one, what created the variety that we see now? There must have been something that forced the one to become many. So that something means other than that means two. Immediately there has to be two. So these people are very prominent in India still. This Ramakrishna mission, Chinmayananda mission, they're all preaching this philosophy that emerge into the existence of God. But it's a half-truth. That kind of liberation is there. But if you go further, then you'll see in the spiritual world there's also variety. Variety is the spice of life. We have variety here. We eat different food, different spices, go to the different cinemas. So in spiritual life, they don't have any variety. They just sit around. What do they do? No, there's pastimes are there in the spiritual world. That's the highest aspect of spiritual life. Spiritual activities. Krishna is sometimes dancing with the gopis. He's sometimes lifting Govardhan Hill. He's sometimes playing with his boyfriend. These things are not mythology. Why? Krishna can't live Govardhan Hill? He's lifting the whole universes. What's one little hill? But we have to have faith that Krishna is a person and he is the supreme person. This is what he tells us in Bhagavad Gita repeatedly. He said that he is the source of everything, material and spiritual. He is the, no one is equal to or greater than him. So either Krishna's crazy and he's got the worst false ego, or he's actually God. That's it. We have a choice. And most people say, well, he's a great man. That's what Duryodhana did. When Duryodhana and Arjuna, they came to the point they were going to fight. So they both went to Krishna asking for help. But Arjuna, as a devotee, he sat at Krishna's feet. Krishna was resting. But Duryodhana stood at his head. He thought he's equal to me. He's a prince, I'm a prince. So Krishna opened his eyes and saw Arjuna first. He was looking. Oh, Arjuna, you've come. How can I help you? And Duryodhana said, I'm here also. I wasn't there. But the problem was that because he saw Arjuna first, he gave, and Arjuna said, the battle is coming. I would like you be on my side. And Duryodhana was happy with that. He said, yeah, that's okay, but I like your armies. He thought this. He calculated, Krishna's only one man. But the armies of Krishna, so many, I had them on my side. And so he collected them. And he had more Akshtahinis, is that how you say it? Than Pandavas did. He had 11 and they had 7. But because Krishna was on their side, They have to win, no doubt. So we want to have Krishna on our side. He's ready to come on our side. He's ready to help us, personally. But you have to please Him. And it's not so hard. He's playing with you. You say, come on, come dance with me. But in order to dance with Him, you have to have a spiritual body. You have to have, and which is already with us. But it has to come out. And what's the best way to get it out?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Not so difficult. Just go on with this chant. This is recommended in the Kali Yuga. Kali Dosha Mahadana. What is it?
Asti Eko
Asti Mahadana. There's one great body. The Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, but there's one great body. Simply by chanting this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, one can attain perfection. So we don't have to go to the Himalayas and hold our nose and practice something different. If we just chant this mantra, and by association, it's easy. Just like we were chanting, I wrote it dancing together. It's not so difficult, not a big austerity. But you have to do it sincerely, from the heart. Probably just to give you an example, a baby crying for the mother. When the baby cries with a certain intensity, the mother will drop everything and run to the child. But similarly, we have to learn how to chant with real devotion and feeling. I know. And also to hear the mantra very attentively. I was once waiting because she was probably massage. And when I came on time, but he wasn't ready. So he said, just sit there. He was doing some writing. That correspondence or something. And so I had my beads there, so I was chanting while I was waiting. And as I was chanting, all of a sudden he looked at me. You listen? He said, and I was thinking, of course I listen, otherwise why am I doing it? But Prabhupada read my mind. He said, I know you listen. But you have to listen very carefully, because this chanting is the whole essence of our philosophy. So we're chanting on our beads, you have to listen very carefully. We can improve. I'm sure you all struggle with that. In 16 rounds, hearing them very carefully. So we can improve by practice. Practice makes perfect. And we should go on with the practice. So let me go on. This is the long purpose. One should know by the cultivation of real knowledge that he is not the Lord of material nature. The Supreme Person of the Godhead is the Lord. When one is free from delusion caused by pride, he can begin the process of surrender. For one who is always expecting some honor in this world, it is not possible to surrender to the Supreme Person. Pride is due to illusion, for although one comes here, stays for a brief time, and then goes away, he has the foolish notion that he is the Lord of the world. He thus makes all things complicated, and he is always in trouble. The whole world moves under this impression. People are considering the land, this earth, to belong to human society, and they have divided the land under the false impression that they are the proprietors. It's true. We divided the land and said, yeah, this is my land. And if you come on my land without my permission, that's what happened. But we have to accept that this is Krishna's land. It was here before we came. How can we claim that it's mine? It'll be here after we leave. When one is free from such a false notion, he becomes free from all false associations caused by family, social, and national affections. Only the word used is familiar. How do you say it?
Familiar.
Familiar? Oh, you have the word there.
Yes.
Familiar. That's not familiar is something different.
Familiar.
Right?
Familiar.
It's a different pronunciation.
Familiar.
Belonging to the family. Familiar is a completely different word. This is familiar. Robert knows English very well. These faulty associations bind one to the material world. After this stage, one has to develop spiritual knowledge. One has to cultivate knowledge of what is actually his own. There's some things we have to cultivate. This is not. Like these cartels. These cartels of mine, if you try to take them, I'm going to punch you. No, not live. And I mean, I want them with me. Because sometimes on the street, we get chanting. It's very nice. So I keep them close. One has to cultivate knowledge, okay, of what is actually his own and what is actually not his own. And one has an understanding of things as they are. An understanding of things as they are. He becomes free from all dual conception, such as happiness and distress, pleasure and pain. He becomes full in knowledge. Then it is possible for him to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To Prabhupada Ki. Okay, so before we can go a little into it, but any questions? Go at the top. We have to have a little faith, yeah. But that faith is not blind faith. Prabhupada never wanted us to be blind followers. He didn't approve of blind followers. He wanted us to, like I remember I had some questions about Krishna, and he used to spend time and just carefully explain that just like you have a father, he has a father, so who is the original father? Because I was like, well, maybe there's no God, maybe it's just a big bang or something. Right? But now I don't have that doubt at all. Because the scientists, they don't know. The one who was pushing this big bang theory the most, now he died. What was his name? Stephen Hawking? Yeah. And he was saying that he's going to tell us what caused the Big Bang. But come on, it's a bluff. They don't know. But they can't say that. They don't sound scientific. We don't know. But we say, yeah, some things are inconceivable. We're one with Krishna, also different. Inconceivably. It's inconceivable even for us to think. Does the universe end, or does it keep going forever? We can't comprehend either one. If it ends, then what goes there? If it doesn't end, the mind boggles. So there are some things, due to our limited logic and reason, that we have to take on faith. So I'm happy to take on faith. Because Prabhupada took it on faith, and I have full respect for him. And for all the others in our life. So many wonderful persons. When you read about Nartanda, Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, these people are so exemplary in their character, in their behavior, and they were fully surrendered. Jiva Goswami, Sanat Goswami. They were such ideal persons in their character and in their behavior in every way. So how could they be so stupid just to accept that Krishna is if they didn't have experience? They have experience because Krishna talks to them. When Krishna talks to you, then you don't have any more doubts. And I'm praying for that time. Sometimes when I was asleep, even now, you have, when I was in difficulty. But Krishna, it's like, but a lot of people have claimed that they've had communication with Krishna. We couldn't have been done. Okay. I wrote a book about my experiences with Srila Prabhupada. We have some copies here. I don't know who that's okay. But I can tell a couple of stories. You like to hear when he chastised me, or when he encouraged me? Which one first?
Encourage.
Encourage. Stay encouragement. You must be. So I thought I got initiated, and by Prabhupada personally. Then I came to New Vrindavan. I thought in my mind I was thinking, well, I'm really attracted to this movement. I like the chanting. I I like the devotees. Why not give it a try? I was like 28 years old, 27 years old. I graduated from the university. I had discharged from the U.S. Navy. No, I was ready to start something. I was thinking, I'll go get a good job, maybe get married, or something like that. But I thought, well, let me try this Hare Krishna thing first. You know, I was still young enough, I wasn't worried about it. So, I went to see Srila Prabhupada and I said, I'd like to open a center sitting out under the tree in the summertime. Because I've preached there before, I mean, I've been there before, and it's a good perspective. A lot of young people, seekers in California at the time. And so Prabhupada said, yes, we need temples everywhere. That was his response. But then after a few days, I was there with him. He got a letter from three greenhouse couples that opened a center in London. And they were requesting a brahmachari because brahmacharis were coming, or young unmarried men were coming, but nobody could train them properly because they were all greenhouses. So Prabhupada said, I want you to go and assist them. So naturally, I did that. I went on the street with incense sticks and tried to do money. Not that Prabhupada said to somebody and he gave me, here's the ticket. You're a brahmachari, you have to get out there. Which is okay. And then Prabhupada came a month later. So I was a senior brahmachari, so I was asked to give a massage to Srila Prabhupada. I never gave a massage before. So the first massage I gave, Prabhupada seemed satisfied. He liked vigorous massage. And then after the massage, I said, Srila Prabhupada, I never gave a massage before, so I'd like to go to the library and get a book on how to give a massage. We can use it. So Prabhupada says, not necessary. You read Bhagavad Gita and Krishna will tell you how to use it. So, anyway, when I was there in London, then the first, you can say, open program was held after maybe Prabhupada was in London for 3 weeks. We had a big open program, invited everybody to come. We did a lot of advertising, here out flyers, went to Hindus and so on. So a lot of Hindus came, a lot of Hindus in London. Maybe there was, the crowd must have been 300 or 400, and half of them were Hindus. But one of the Hindus, he wasn't so happy with Prabhupada's message. What about Lord Shiva? So Prabhupada said, yes, Lord Shiva is there. He's Shiva Tattva, but this is Vishnu Tattva, which is a little higher, and like that. But he wasn't happy with that, and he interrupted again after Prabhupada was went on talking. He interrupted again. Prabhupada told him in a bold voice, sit down, you are nonsense. So we never said that. So bold like that. And I like it. Oh, so great. So that next day I was giving him a massage, and it was a series of lectures, so he was going to speak again that night. So I was giving him a massage, and I was thinking I'm getting him in shape for another knockout performance. Massaging. And I was thinking about that. And my mood was like, you and me probably can take over the world. And probably could smell my mood. And so then suddenly he said, no! And my hands froze on his mouth. And then he spoke with it like a very innocent child, 7 or 8-year-old child. He spoke from deep in his heart. And he said, I am just a humble servant. And I was so embarrassed. I thought, this person is such an aristocrat. I shouldn't be in the same room with him. I just speak of touching his body. And there was a throne up there. I thought I should go under the rug. Because Robert was so humble that he made me a little humble. This is teaching by example. That's generally how Robert taught. No, there's precepts too, of course. But without being the Acharya means one who teaches by example. We couldn't have changed. If I just read the book, I wouldn't have changed. But when I saw Prabhupada and how wonderful he was and how humble he really was, not artificial, then I thought, man, this person is supernatural. I'd like to be like him. And he said, yes, you can be like me. This is the process. It's not exclusive, not just for me. It's open to everybody. Why not try it? That was his move. He didn't think I have exclusive rights to this underworld of Europe. No. Of course, the relationship is eternal. I'll always be Prabhupada's disciple. I'm happy to be his disciple. But still, he wanted us all to become gurus. We need thousands of gurus, he said. The world is in such a condition. And it is, right? This world is in such a condition. Whenever I drive on the roads, it reminds me of what condition this world is. Okay? Driving it's a cultural shock. You're used to it, you don't see it. Yeah, I won't get into it. But the point I want to make is, Prabhupada was the genuine person. He was the real thing. He was the Acharya. He was beyond defect. And I became convinced of that. At first I wasn't convinced. I saw them worshiping a picture of Prabhupada, and I thought, wow. My mother told me never to worship a human being. Why are they worshiping a human being? And then, they were worshiping. And I thought, well, these people are so sincere, and the food is so good. I was living in my apartment at the campus, eating peanut butter sandwiches. And shy, wow. And it was after the kirtan, and I liked the kirtan from the beginning. The first kirtan I had, I remember after the kirtan was over, I said, what do you call that? What we just did? And they said, that's kirtan. I said, oh. It was it's a dynamic thing, right? Kirtan. So I liked it. Then, Prabhupada encouraged me. I was attached to giving the service or giving massage to Prabhupada every day. It removed all my lust in my heart. I was peaceful, happy. Every day I did that service. We worked out all my energy out. And he was happy with my massage. It's funny, I heard one night with him. I better not tell you that story. That's a good for old ladies. All right, I'll tell you. Yeah. This one devotee, he was giving massage to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, I want a vigorous massage. And so the boy said, I'm trying my best. He said, well, sit down and Prabhupada get up and show you. Like this. This is how you do it. Massage him like that. And so then again, the boy stood up and Prabhupada sat down and he started massaging him. And Prabhupada said, no wonder your wife left you. I'm going to arrange your marriage, please. And she left. So that's what I usually don't tell that story. You ladies forgive me. So, then at the end, I was asking Prabhupada regularly, not every day, but every couple of weeks. He was there for 3 months. I would ask Prabhupada if I could go with him when he left back to America. And he was always not committed. He said, let's see what Krishna wants. He didn't say yes or no. But he wasn't sure whether he wanted you or not. So time came, maybe a week or 5 days before he was due to leave. His servant came to me, he said, stop bothering Prabhupada about going to America because another devotee named Upendra is going to be the one giving the massage when Prabhupada comes. So I didn't say anything. But later that day, I was driving Prabhupada. And just Srila Prabhupada and I in the car. And he was far away from me, right? You can touch it. And I said to Srila Prabhupada, I said, Prabhupada, your servant, Rishabh said that Upendra is going to be the one who's going to be giving you massage when you go back to the America. So he knew I wanted to have that servant. But his response was quite unique. Utter silence. And then I thought, this must be true. And I reconciled myself to it. I said, okay, I'm not going to that. But still the silence is there. So I thought how to break the silence, and at the same time, let Prabhupada know that I was resigned, and I'm not upset about it. It's just fact of life, I'm not going. So I said to him, Srila Prabhupada, I never met Upendra. Is he a nice boy? That this would convey that I was surrendered to not going. So when I said that, Prabhupada was shocked. He could understand what I was saying. He turned to me in a very loving voice, he said, not as nice as you. Prabhupada loves me. And he did, you know, he loved us all. He loves you all also. Because you're part of Krishna, you're helping in his mission. He loves everybody. That's Prabhupada's rule. Of course, he's not Vishnu Tattva. He didn't perform miracles. He was careful not to perform miracles. So that it wouldn't be like Christ, you know, show me a miracle, and then people, they couldn't do miracles, so they thought, well, Christ is God. He wasn't God. He was the Son of God. He sat at the right hand of God. He told them, I'm doing the work of the Father. But they made him God. But that's blasphemy. There's Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva. It's very silent. And then Mata, matter was also three basic energies. This is real philosophy. Matter, spirit, and supreme spirit. Three categories. So Prabhupada was careful not to perform miracles. Well, he did perform one miracle that I heard. It wasn't broadcast, but I heard it from a reliable source. The person who the miracle was performed on. So the story was like this. There was one Sikh devotee who happened to be a criminal, and he was running from the police. So he shaved his head and joined the Hare Krishna. True story. I think you'd have to seek it. It's a true story. We didn't know about it, you know, that he got away from the police. They didn't come looking for a Sikh, and he didn't have a beard. So anyway, he was a tough guy, but Prabhupada was engaging him. He came. He said, you know, anybody who comes to Prabhupada was ready to engage him. So at one point he was engaging him because we were building the Mayapur festival. So many of you did the Mayapur. You know, when you come in the property, on the left, there's a Bhajan Kuti, Prabhupada's original houses, the straw house. But there was one devotee who was, no, so let me get back to it. So he was in charge of the laborers. Tough Sikh guy, and he was good with them. They were only getting like 10 rupees a day, and all of the shop they could eat. Something, you know, so sometimes they wouldn't work, so he wouldn't go around and make sure that they did their service. But then, so Prabhupada was there. It was important because they were building this wrong building because a whole plane load of devotees were coming from the West, from Canada, America, and England, and Europe. And there was no place for them to stay. And he didn't want to just stay in the outside. So he wanted the buildings finished. So he had this man doing it. So when he heard that, one day he announced that he couldn't work because he was sick. He had a high fever. So the report came to Prabhupada. Prabhupada Jayaguru has a fever. He can't superintend the workers today. So Prabhupada was concerned. No, we have to get this building finished. So he went to his room and he said, Jayaguru, what's wrong? He said, I have a fever. And Chili Guru told me, Prabhupada would love to stand like this, and the people would move.
Haribo.
So he had that kind of power, but he didn't like to use it because even at the end, some devotee said, Prabhupada, this devotee is ready to give you his youth. If you take his youth, then he'll take your old age. Prabhupada said, no, we don't want to show magic. Because then the same thing can happen. Prabhupada's God. That already happened. In 1970, there were some devotees, senior devotees who were playing that Prabhupada was God. I was there in the meeting. I knew Prabhupada was a God. I used to give him massage. His body was, wrinkled and old. Krishna never gets old. Anyway, I can tell that quickly. So these 4, 5 sannyasis were preaching about Prabhupada's God. They got something from the Adi Purana that the Acharya is my very self. So they thought, no, he's Prabhupada's God. But Prabhupada never preached that. So anyway, they were preaching it to all of us in Vrindavan, 300 people, and I was in the room. So I questioned him, what about that little blue boy? How do you know about him? I said, Prabhupada, see? And they dismissed him. But when Prabhupada found out, he threw them out of his room. He told them they can't stay at any temple. They should travel and preach until they get purified from this wrong conception that the living entity is God. But that's what these yogis said. I was taking a yoga course before I became a devotee, before I ever met the devotee. And we went for meditation. He said, be still and know that you are God. I forget what it was. Ramanath Yoga or something. Anyway, I forget. I thought to myself, I never thought I was God. But maybe I should try. So I was lost. But the devotees, the Prabhupada saying, that's what I don't have any great qualification. Except when two things I have qualification for. I like the prasad, and I like the kirtan. That's kept me all these years. I'm still addicted to both. Okay, so I told both stories, good and bad. Anything else? Any question of philosophy? There's a lot of philosophy in this verse. What about you? What your question? What's on this side?
Questions.
Fire away, I'm ready for it. On with yoga, stand and fight.
You said encourage Prabhupada's pastimes, which encouraged Prabhupada encouraged you, and some chastisement pastimes also you said.
You said about encouraging and chastising pastimes from Srila Prabhupada.
Oh, you missed the encouraging person. The encouraging person was he's totally not as nice as you. Sushi Gorita, Shri Jaina Bandhu Svajara. So we should have an alternate. Should we chant step? The class is finished. I can chant that.
Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna Prana.
Vacha.
Krishna Prana. Radha Krishna. I don't know what you have to give it to me. No, I think better stand up. We've been sitting all this time. Now, Krishna Pradaya, Krishna Pradaya.
Books table.
Namaste. Pranam Prabha ki, Pranam Acharya Shri Thakur ki, Mere Bhaktivinoda ki, Go Prananda! Glory to thee, glory to thee, glory to thee, glory to Shri Guru Ranjana.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Here is a book written by His Holiness Tiruvika Swami Maharaj. This is called as Priceless Moments with a Pure Devotee. In this book, Maharaj has written his experiences with Srila Prabhupada from 1968 to 1977. His personal moments with Srila Prabhupada. So devotees who wish to have this book can contact his Nanda, and Maharaj will be happy to sign it personally for the Hare Krishna. Cost of this book is rupees 200 only. Hare Krishna. It's priceless or some price for it. Hare Krishna.
And take it closer.
After you take the book, prasadam is arranged for the devotees in the prasadam hall. Hare Krishna.
Together.
Yeah, you hold this. This is their book, two books. Two books for Mataji, one Mataji, one for Mataji. One for us. No, your mother. Us. As the means? As not. Why? Mummy.
Don't know it. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟು